Hi, Sujit. Thanks for joining me here today on Arkieva Spotlight. I appreciate your time.
Hey, Jeff, great to be with you.
Yeah. The last time we were together, we talked a little bit about supply chain collaboration, what it means to you, what it means to Arkieva, and many of our clients. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about the S&OP journey and a guide that we use here at Arkieva. The practical guide for implementing sales and operation planning is a book that I use as a sales guy on a regular basis when I'm talking to prospects. In that book, Dr. Singh, the founder of Arkieva and the CEO who wrote this book, talks a lot about implementing business processes, modeling the supply chain, and metrics. But there's a couple of areas that we have to start with, and he talks about our approach, and then there's 5 distinct steps to success. And today I want to talk to you about 2 things. I want to talk to you about their approach and those 5 distinct steps. And I think they're really important when we talk to prospects, when we're delivering these messages on how to go about this S&OP journey. So if you could talk to me a little bit about the approach, and then I'll come back and I'll hit you with some of those distinctive steps. I think it would be a good opportunity to share that information with some of our the people out there.
Sure, yeah. So the book and the guide is all about sales and operations planning, Jeff, as you mentioned. And, when it comes to planning, you can have the strategic, looking at next 5, 10, 15 years. You can have the tactical, the next 12 to 18 to 24 months, which is where sales and operations planning sits. And then, of course, you can have the very near-term execution-oriented stuff. And Arkiva's practice, as well as this book, is focused on that tactical time frame. So imagine that the company's business is set, the network is more or less set, the products that they are selling, they have decided what they are making. This is not a strategic level question of what business we are going into. It's a question of, given that we have set up the resources and the facilities and set our strategy, how do we go about executing so that we make the most money possible while servicing our customers? So in that 12 to 18 month time frame, the question about what if one wanted to improve the planning for that, which is also called the sales and operations planning, what steps should one go through to get the most impactful sales and operations planning? Harpal wanted to write a book that was prescriptive, uh, which provided the steps in a sequence, so that people would just, if they had nothing else available, they could just take the book and follow the steps. So um, he mentions there are 5 steps. The very first step is the understanding customer demand, where you invest time and energy into analyzing the demand data. Where is the demand coming from? Which customers are more important? Which products are increasing in sales? Which products are declining? Where the order counts are going up? Where the customer counts are going up? Which products are forecastable? Which products are not forecastable? So there's a whole bevy of analysis that one can run to understand the demand itself, and that's the very first step. And the second step is around understanding the inventory. So where do we have it? How much do we have? Is it too much? Is it too little? Is it actively selling, or is it the type that is basically destined to become obsolete and then dead? So analyzing a lot of your inventory related data.
Mm-hmm.
The third step deals with a notion of creating a forward-looking demand plan, essentially a statement that says what is the marketplace going to demand from us. And that requires this thinking of using any and all available tools, mathematics, statistics, but also people's inputs, and really generating the absolute best possible forward-looking demand statement.
But that
That is
circles back right to the collaborative uh, aspect of supply chain planning, right? When you're looking at this, when you get to step 3, right? Everybody who's involved needs to participate in the plan, as you talk about, right?
absolutely. And when I say collecting input from the users, that's kind of what I was hinting towards. So that's
Right.
exactly right. That's collaboration. And you can have as many departments collaborate. You can have external parties collaborate, something we talked about in our last discussion, Jeff.
Yep, exactly.
And the next step, fourth step, is around balancing the supply with the demand. Now, it's important to say it's always the balancing of the supply to the demand, not the other way. Demand is an externally exercised force, if you will. You know, the marketplace exercises a demand on us. It's not really in our control. We can do some influencing of it, some shaping of it, but really it's coming from the outside. We have to align our resources, manufacturing resources, transportation resources, storage resources. So we have to align our resources so that we can meet that supply. So really, it's a question of balancing the supply with the demand, or maybe aligning it with the demand. And then finally, once all this is done, we are talking about, in a fifth step, a process where people can routinely come together, have meetings, discuss the plans, make decisions on these plans as to which one they will follow and which one they will not follow, and exercise any what ifs and establish any what if scenarios around that. Discuss the performance of the past plans. Whatever was decided in the last cycle, how good it was, where did it miss the mark, and those types of things. So that's the extent of the sales and operations planning. It's the 5-step process. Before it is the strategic plan, and this book on purpose does not get into that.
Right.
On the other side of it is the more detailed execution, something some people will call sales and operations execution. Again, this book and when we talk about sales and operations planning, that does not really include that. So it's that tactical 12 to 18 to 24 month time frame.
Understood. No, I appreciate that. That's a great overview. And then, as I mentioned before, over the next several weeks, I'm going to be diving into each one of these distinctive steps. We're going to be talking to some of the consultants here at Arkieva on a regular basis, and try to really drill down into why these are important and why companies need to practice this as they move forward with their S&OP journey. So I appreciate your time today, Sujit. I'm sure we're going to be talking again in the near future. And as we continue with Arkieva Spotlight, I look forward to new topics and new discussions. Thanks for your time again today, Sujit.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
Have a great day.